who lives and breathes Manchester United, comes out in interviews and says, never question my commitment to this club. Look at the state of him. That performance, other than the goal, was a shambles. The guy's through on goal. He's just got to head it. Yes, he's up against a very quick player in Kyle Walker, but I'm being told that Rashford's pace is electric, so he should be all right there. The guy controls it. It goes behind him. Yeah. Then he goes up the other end in the second half, falls on the floor, goes mental, wants foul. Get up, mate. Try and put the ball in the back of the net. What are you doing? Oh, now they've scored. Well done, fella. This Rashford kid, man, I tell you this now, one of the most overrated players I've ever heard of and seen in my life. I don't get this. He's our Mbappe. 150 million 3 years ago, this kid was worth. 150 million. Oh, my God. Mate, the guy has scored about 14 goals in one season, and everyone went, there he is.
He was worth a lot of money. That wasn't Man United fans. That was
should have got rid of him then, Tel.
That's what the market value was. Again, where I'm going to defend Rashford, I'm not saying his performances deserve defending. Is that he is just another victim of what this club does to you. There is a reason that every player...
He's overhyped, though, Tel, real talk. Do you not think he's overhyped?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think there was a lot of talent there. And of course, he hasn't fulfilled that hype. But name me a player that we've signed who was world-class when we signed him, top class when we signed him, or a brilliant talent that emerged in the last decade, who's at the very least maintained their levels, if not got better at Man United. So I'm not saying you're wrong about Rashford, but I'm at a point as a Man United fan where I almost don't care about the conversations about the players anymore. Everything you're saying about Rashford's true. He is not of the standard right now. His performances are bad. But Man United fans have been bogged down for too long in these player in, player out, manager in, manager out debates. None of that fixes our football club. The culture at our club and how we're run leads to this. Paul Pogba was one of the best midfielders in the world when we signed him. There is no debate about that. He was in the World Team of the Year, killing it for France. What he was doing in Serie A was massive. He comes to Man United and systematically regresses. We have signed a lot of top players in the last 10 years. We've signed a lot of young talent that everyone's gone, wow, look who Man United have signed. None of them have really done a thing. Bruno came in, first 2 years, was astonishingly good for us. Regression, become a whinger, become a moaner, become a baby. There's something about our club that... You ever seen that advert where the guy touches Skittles and everything falls apart and turns into Skittles? That's kind of like Man United. Everything we touch dies and just falls
toxic,
apart.
Terry. It's toxic. And this is where I have to sort of agree with you here a little bit and maybe disagree with Dan in the sense that, yes, I do think Rashford's overrated, but United have to take some responsibility in the downfall of Rashford's career. Because you're not telling me that if Rashford was at City, he'd be like this. Because he would have been under a proper structure, a proper manager who could coach him. He would have been around better players and a better environment. Not a toxic environment, which Manchester United is. It would have been managed properly, like Foden. And like you've got at Arsenal, bro, like the Sakas and that. You know, you didn't ever get any of these questions with Saka. You don't get them with Foden because we've got a proper structure and a proper club that's managing them. So yes, on one hand, there is some individual responsibility on the likes of Rashford to, you know, not be as overrated, no, to be better on the pitch rather, you know what I mean? And maybe to stop releasing statements every 5 minutes. That's fair. But United, you also have to say, well, United have created this. You know what I mean? This is the environment. United's such a toxic environment.
I don't disagree with that.
And listen, I think this new guy that's going to come in with Omar and all the new board, I think they're going to rip it apart. I think Man United, yeah, you know, Ragnick said they need open heart surgery. I think you're going to get open heart surgery. And I think that club is going to be ripped apart from top to bottom, which is what's needed. That manager, by the way, is gone in the summer.
Oh, he's finished.
100%.
He's finished.
There is not a chance that manager continues next year because there's no way Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in. Omar's coming in. This other guy from Newcastle, if he comes in as well, are looking at this manager and going, you know what, you're actually a decent... They're not going to do that. You know what I mean? They're going to get somebody else and they're going to get their man. That's what all new owners did. We like when Sheikh Mansour came in. He got rid of Mark Hughes straight away and brought in Mancini. All new owners always want their own new man, and that will 100% happen. The players, that has to go. That you've got to sort that out because there's a lot of players at that football club that are one, ass, not good enough for Man United, and two, toxic. Yeah, and this is a difficult one with Bruno because I know, Terry, Bruno splits your fan base down the middle. Yeah, you've got a lot of fans that just look at his output, look at the contributions, and then you've got the other half who just think this guy lacks real quality, spams balls into the box and just moans. That's a big call. That's a big decision that your club's got to make. But your club is going to be ripped apart. And I don't think it's going to be pretty for the next 18 months, 2 years, personally. But what you should get at the end of that is a structure that you can then believe in taking your club forward for the long term.
And I totally agree with you. And when it comes to Rashford and Bruno, there is a big divide. And the divide is it's not 50-50 either. It's split into categories. You get some that were Martial and Pogba fanboys, and there's been a fight between those two fan bases. But I don't really care about them because anyone that's a Player FC person first is not a Man United fan. So their opinion about my club becomes less relevant, in my humble opinion, because you're not actually a supporter of my club. So I don't take your opinion on what's going to make my club better too seriously, if I'm being, especially when you're a nameless, faceless person on Twitter. You then get individuals that are obsessed with technical ability, and they just despise what Bruno and Marcus Rashford are. And the problem is with these individuals is that they are going to hate on the club pretty much no matter what we do if we're not playing a brand of football that they like. So we could be at the top, we could be winning trophies, but if it isn't done in the technical way they want, they're still going to have a problem with it. So I can respect that because they're just talking about football from their perspective, if that makes sense. And then you get this group that loved Bruno when he first came in, like me. We're now split in two. I think there's a very good football player in Bruno Fernandes. There's a reason that every single professional that speaks about him raves about him. There's something within that. But I believe he's also become a victim of Manchester United. My view on the matter is I think we need to get rid of the crap first. Of course we do. But I think there needs to be some heavyweight casualties in this rebuild. I think that there need, and it could be Bruno, it could be Rashford, it could be both, where they may just have been so tarnished physically and mentally by the way this club has been run that they just need to be moved on so somebody else can come in and it just removes that problem altogether. And that's what I think a lot of United fans are ignoring in this whole circumstance is there is problems, but not every problem is the same. Like some United fans, I can't believe some United fans are happy with the idea that Varane's going to go. He's our best defender. He is, but can he really play 2 games a week in a team that's going to play high-intensity football like you want? The answer is no. I don't think his body can. So you have to look to move him on as well. That isn't saying that Maguire's better than him. It's just looking at that individual in isolation. And Man United fans are so angry and so frustrated about the overarching situation. They very rarely now have constructive, meaningful conversations about the football club. It's all player in, player out. Yeah, but you rate this dead baller and I like this guy and you said this about this manager 3 years ago. Now look where we are. And it's just a case of we've all got some stuff right. We've all got some things wrong. But the one thing that hasn't happened, and I was called out on this the other day, saying, Terry, I can't believe you want another reset. And I read the tweet and I laughed out loud. I was sitting by myself. I must have looked like a right nutter. Started laughing. But we never had a reset. All we do is add a manager to the shit situation that already exists and get him to try and manage a bad situation. We are quite literally the definition of papering over cracks. Yeah. That's all we do. We don't fix the subsidence. We don't fix the foundations. We don't rip out and solve the problem. We just put new wallpaper up and move new furniture in. And in 18 months, when the subsidence has got worse and the cracks are back, do you know what I mean? There's dust everywhere. We're wondering why our new sofa's full of shit. We didn't fix the problem in the first place. And Man United fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee. But the one thing I don't disagree with you at all, LB. I think that the structure's right, culture's right from the summer. You bring in the right manager with the right mentality. The one thing you can get very quickly is better football. And if there's better football, a better brand of football, it gives you something to hold. It gives you something to hanker onto. It gives you something to look at least look forward. I haven't enjoyed watching Man United play football for really and truly. There was a few months last year I did, but I haven't really enjoyed watching us play football for 5 or 6 years. That's painful. So if we have that at the very least, where we say, well, I'm enjoying the football. We know there's huge holes in the squad to fill, but the football looks great. Most Man United fans will get behind that. They really will. But yeah, it's crazy. Would I take Xavi? No, I wouldn't. There is reports today that we're looking at De Zerbi. What do you guys make of the De Zerbi to Man United?